Hello everyone, welcome to my Plushy Wednesday. I warn you ahead of time, I don't have a whole lot of plushies made. It's been a crazy hectic week. I'm trying to find a contractor to redo my master bath. This has been an ongoing thing for years. Years ago I had 3 different contractors in so I could get different bids. All 3 of them looked at the bathroom, told them what I wanted done, sat at the table, talked, blah, 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 blah. Not one of them sent me a quote on what it would cost me to redo my bathroom. Not one. So I got fed up and years went by. And about 4 or 5 months ago, my financial advisor recommended someone. So we called him and he came over and he seemed like a really great guy, really nice, and told him everything I wanted done in the bathroom, pretty much a full remodel. And he had us running all over Tampa and all these different places, picking out fixtures, picking out tile, picking out paint, picking out this, that. So we did all those things. And then he never sent me a written quote. So I said to him, I said, you need to send me a written quote. So he did. He had told us verbally what the cost would be, but never did it. So he did send me the quote. It was the worst thing. My dad was a contractor. I typed up all his contracts for him. He was meticulous in how he wanted his contracts done. Every little thing was on there and the cost of every little thing. So whoever he was bidding the job for would know exactly what they were in for. And he did commercial things, not, bathrooms and stuff like that. He did buildings and that kind of stuff. So we had called him one day. We hadn't heard from him in a while, so we called him because there were a couple of questions. I didn't think he was getting it right, what I wanted, and I just wanted to go over it with him again. And he says, well, I'm busy right now. I'll call you when I get home tonight. And that was the end of that. We never heard from him again. So I officially sent him an email to fire him. And that was quite a few months ago. What upset me more than anything, I think, was I took all this money out of my 401k to do this because I thought we were going ahead. So that's been losing me money all these months because the market's been pretty good. So I'm upset about that. Plus the taxes I had to pay on taking that much money out of my 401k. Not a good thing. So then I just decided to go to like Jacuzzi or something like that. I ended up putting my name in someplace. I think it was Jacuzzi, but not sure. And a list of 4 different contractors came up and all 4 contacted me. So the last 2 days, Monday, one came at 10 in the morning and another at 2 in the afternoon. And yesterday, one came at 10 in the morning and another one at 2 in the afternoon. So that took up forever. It took up my whole days. I didn't have any time to crochet. Sunday was football day. No time to crochet. It's like, crazy week. Monday I did a video. So it's been nuts. And now this morning, my whole morning's blown because I had a doctor appointment. And I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it at all. I even told my doctor at the end, and she's the sweetest person. She really is. I do love her, but I was not happy with the news today. So I looked at her before she was ready to leave the room, and I says, you know what? I says, I don't like you today. She goes, I know, but you'll like me again. I said, yeah, I will. I'm just not happy today. I don't know if I ever mentioned it. It's not a big deal, but I'm a diabetic. Runs in my family. My grandmother was a diabetic, skipped my dad, but my sister that passed away in March, and my oldest brother, me, I believe my oldest brother's son, we all got it. We all have diabetes, and I've had it for over 20 years, and it hasn't been a big issue. I just hate taking all these pills all the time. Well, lately my numbers have not been the greatest, and I knew what was coming, and I just didn't want to face it, and it makes me feel like a failure because I try so hard not to eat a bunch of junk or, you know, that kind of stuff. Behave. So today she decided that I needed to start insulin, and I am not happy about that. I don't like the idea of sticking a needle in me every day. I have enough needles. I go for allergy shots every Monday morning. It's a shot in each arm. And it just never ends. It really sucks getting old. It really sucks. And I said that to her. I says, you know what? It just sucks getting old. She goes, yeah, but it's better than the alternative. And I said, absolutely. I agree with you there. And I have a goal. My mom passed away at 65 years old. That always scared me because they always say, you know, go by what your parents went through. And that'll give you a pretty good idea where you stand moving forward. So she was 65, so that kind of scared me. I was getting there. And so I told myself, if you make it to 65, you're good to go. You're good to go. Because my dad was 88 when he passed away. So I have to beat that 88. But then my sister that passed away in March was 89. So now I have to beat her. I have to be the oldest sibling to live in my family. So that's my goal. I want to make it to 90. So I'll do what the doctors have to say, and what can you do? You got to do what you got to do if you want to stay healthy. And other than that, I'm great. Other than that, I'm great. I don't have any bad stuff happening because of the diabetes. I don't have any of the bad side effects. I'm not losing toes or anything. But I just wanted it to get better. And it's not getting better the older I get. So that's where we stand. That's where we stand. So we'll do that. So my market is coming up on Sunday. I am a wreck about it all. But I'm a wreck about any market I go to. But this one's outside, bigger setup. The good thing is my son and one of my grandsons will also be there with a booth. So that'll be cool. Probably run into another crocheter that I know from there. I saw her she came over and saw me when we were doing the April one, the day before Easter. So she may be there. So I know a few people who do that market. So that's nice. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm nervous about it at the same time. I think until I get there and get set up, then I'll relax. So in my head, I know what I want to do. I'm not doing a practice thing here. I don't want to lug 3 tables into my front room, and I don't know. I truly do not know how much of a difference that makes to buyers. I really think that's a us thing. The makers. We want everything to look so awesome. I really don't think it matters to the buyers. That's just my opinion. You may find something different. And I love looking at beautiful displays. And not that mine's ugly, but I don't go out and buy tons and tons of fancy things to put on my table. I just don't do that. So we'll see. So wish me luck for Sunday. Wish me luck for Sunday. And I keep repeating myself again. Why am I doing that? So I'm on the way home from my doctor appointment a little while ago. And I saw something when I was almost home. So I videoed it. And I thought I would treat you to that little video. So I'll be right back and take a look at this. What do you think? Aren't they spectacular? They're called Sandhill cranes. And they're not as abundant as they were when I first moved here 15 years ago. But I do see them fairly often in our community. And that group of 6 has been hanging around for a while now. But those birds, I'll tell you, they have no traffic smarts. They just walk out into the road. So you have to be really careful when you're driving. A lot of them get killed by cars, a lot of them, and it just breaks my heart. And unfortunately, there are those who purposely hit them when they're in the road. That happens a lot, and that's against the law. So if anybody sees that happen, get the license plate of the person who hit the crane and report it, because they will be arrested. So, or pay a hefty fine for doing that. And if that keeps happening, we're going to not have Sandhill cranes anymore, right? And I love seeing them. They're magnificent. They're so tall. They're over 3 feet tall, maybe 4 feet. I don't know. They're really tall. Those legs, look at those legs, how skinny they are, but they're so long. And I usually have a couple. They mate for life, and I don't know what this group of 6 is. I've never seen a big group like that. Usually it's a couple, and then in the spring when they have their babies, that the babies will be walking around with them. It's so cute, so cute. And it's just nice to see them back in the community again. In the video you saw that the road curves. Well, my area where I live is right around that corner. And I've seen them in our community quite a bit. But I thought you might get a kick out of seeing some of our wildlife here, because it's diminishing quicker and quicker all the time with all the development. But birds in Florida, if you're a bird watcher or bird lover, this would be heaven to you down here, because we have so many different kinds of birds. So many. So anyhow, I thought I would just share that with you. I thought it was kind of cool. I had to sit there for quite a while. When I saw that other car coming towards me around the corner and the birds were in the road, I just kind of held my breath. Please stop, please stop. And they did. And they did. And birds, not too smart. Because as I was coming, they were just crossing the street to the opposite side. So I thought they'd be okay over there. And just before I get to them, blew back into the street again to the other side. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. Looking for grubs. That's what they're doing. They're hungry. So anyhow, I guess I'll move on and show you my few makes that I did this week. Considering the oh, I know what I forgot to tell you about. Update on my little girls. My little girl crocheters that I teach on Fridays. They came over Friday. I just enjoy seeing them so much. I really do. Mom came and she brought her little 2-year-old daughter too. I hate the term terrible twos, but 2-year-olds have so much energy, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. You can't gain weight if you have a 2-year-old because you're chasing them constantly. So cute. She's adorable. She's adorable. But she was taking my plushies off the table and throwing them on the floor because she thought the dog would play with them. My dog does not touch my plushies. He does not touch them. I could make him one that he could play with, and he would not touch it. I don't know why. It's weird, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So the girls are doing better. Holly, my little left-handed girl, is doing much better holding her hook in yarn. She can run through a chain pretty quick. We were doing single crochets again. I showed them different types of yarn and what the different types are used for. So once they get this down pat and they want to try something, they can see what it is. They came, both of them got a new set of crochet hooks. So they have all the sizes now. Not all the sizes, but the sizes that we would use. So that was so cool. This week I told them they have to bring yarn because they've been using my yarn since they started, and they're running out of that. So they have to go and pick out a yarn they want. And their homework was to make a coaster, just single crochet, 20 stitches wide by 20 rows high. So I can't wait to see how they do on Friday. Cannot wait. And if they did really well at that and they're comfortable, I may try double crochet with them. I might try that because I'd like to get them to the point of being able to make granny squares. So then they can work on that. And where we would go from there, I'm not quite sure. I think if they get to that point and they're good with that, I'd probably teach them how to read a pattern, little bits at a time, because we all know how confusing that can be. But I think that would be the next step after they learn to make a granny square. And that's my plan. We'll see how it goes. Alrighty, back to my few things. I did remake stuff that I sold at the last market so that I have this amount again for this one on Sunday. So the first thing I did was make 3 chicks in the egg. 3 chicks in the egg. Here's one. It's so cute. This is Bernat frosting yarn. I don't know what the color is. Don't know what the color is. I just love that little hair, that messy little hair on top. So cute. So cute. Got his egg. Got his egg. This is Bernat as well. It's all Bernat. So that's the first one I did. And this is the second one. Little pink one. I sold the pink one last time. And this one, I decided to just stitch on the eyes. It's easier. Easier. They're so small. Putting on the plastic eyes is kind of a pain. Oh, I guess I sewed all of the eyes. This one too. I just sewed little eyes. Or embroidered. Let's make it sound fancy. And then I got this little guy. And see, just little embroidered eyes. Little beak. So cute. They are adorable. So it gives me 6, I think I have for this market. I'm good with that. I was going to make 10 at first. Last time I was at this market in April, I only brought 4 with me, and I sold them immediately. Boom, they were gone. They were gone. But I had to think about this. It was the day before Easter. So Easter eggs. Don't know how they'll do in the fall, just before Halloween. So then I needed to make 2 Myrtle the turtles. They're so cute. So I made a pink one. This is that bloom yarn, Parfait Bloom. And these are all made out of Parfait Chunky. And I put big eyes on them. Big eyes, I think they're 20 millimeter. They're the flat eyes. They're not the sinker eyes. But I think it's adorable. So cute. Wish I could make a ton of these, but I have to sell some before I make more. I think this gives me 5 or 6 myrtles to take. And then I did a blue one. And the blue is Parfait Chunky. 20 millimeter eyes. It's got the blue eyes. This is Bernat. Bernat. Oh, I forgot the name of it. I usually remember it because I use it quite a bit. But I think that's very pretty too. Very pretty. So 2 new Myrtle the Turtles. And then I didn't have a Night Fury. I made one and sold one last week. So I had nothing to bring to the market. I was going to make a Night Fury and a White Fury, a Light Fury. I'm kind of sick of making them. I've sold quite a few. So I did make a black one. I did make the Night Fury, or Toothless as some people call him. And he came out pretty cool. But I used the new Parfait Plush yarn with a 5.5 millimeter hook. And in Shannon's pattern, she calls this Baby Night Fury. Well, my Baby Night Fury has grown into a teenage Night Fury because using that thicker yarn and hook made him a lot bigger. Lot bigger. So I don't think I'm going to make a white one. I'm not sure. We'll see how busy I am the next few days. But I got him made anyhow, and he's the one I really wanted to take with me. So awesome. And the pattern's available on Shannon's Etsy page, which is SnuggleBeansCrochet. Isn't he cute? But look how big he is. Holy smokes. Yeah, sit back there. He's so big. Oh, the one I did last week was so little. And this one came real big. I have trouble with the yarn's just not stiff enough to keep the wings up. I do get them up there, but because it's behind one of the horns, it kind of leans on it. So I don't know. I don't know if I like it better with the wings up or down. If someone buys it, they can do whatever they want with it, right? But isn't he big? Beautiful green eyes. Just like the movie. Just like the movie. And if I keep repeating myself, I'm going to really be upset. I don't know why I do that. This is the only place I do that. Alrighty. So I saw someone make something a couple of weeks ago. And I knew when I saw it that I had to make it. I had to. It's fall. This is fall related. And fall is my best season. But best season if I were in New England. If I were back in Rhode Island, oh, I just loved it. We had a house out in the country, had a nice porch. We had this big addition family room, and we had a porch on the front of it. So every year at this time of year, my practice husband would go and get me a couple of bales of hay, and we would put that in the front, and I would buy several, maybe 4 or 5 pots of mums, flowers, different colors, and put those going up the steps. And on the hay bales, we would have pumpkins and gourds, and then we would have a scarecrow, you know, on a stick kind of thing, standing near the, I loved it. oh gosh, I love that so much, getting all of that ready. And it was very popular, and lots and lots and lots of houses decorated for the fall. And I miss that because I don't see that anywhere here. Nothing. You might see a fall wreath on someone's door. That's it. I have not seen anything here. And I miss that. I miss that terribly, terribly, terribly. So when I saw this guy, I went over and bought the pattern because it just reminded me of New England and home. And I just had to make it. So here's my little Scarecrow. Is it the cutest darn thing you've ever seen? Grumpy said, "You're not going to want to sell it, are you?" No. I want him for me. And then my son came over with my grandsons on Sunday for football, and I showed it to him. And he says, "You don't want to sell it, do you?" And I said, "No." He goes, "You're bringing it Sunday. You're bringing it Sunday. You sell it. If you really want another one, make one." Okay. Now, I don't remember the name of the person who made this pattern. I will have it in the link in the description below. I'll have all these links in the description below for you. Yarn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different brands of yarn or types of yarn in this pattern. Not that it called for that. You could use all the same, but I wanted what I wanted, and it ended up being all different yarns. So his hat and his skin color are Michael's yarn. Home Slim, both of them. His shirt is New Parfait Plush. Because in Home Slim, they have that, they don't have this kind of red. They have a real deep burgundy-ish color. I didn't want to use that. And then for his overalls, I used Bernat Mystical. And then for all of his straw, it's just, I lucked out so much with this. I said, I don't know if I have anything that matches his skin color to do his hair and the straw coming out of his shirt and shoes or feet, whatever. And I went out to the garage because I have all kinds of stuff out there too. And I found a whole skein of yarn that just matched perfectly with his skin. Ah, I was so thrilled. Now, I don't know, you tell me if I've made the straw too long. I kind of like how it looks, but this part around his feet, I don't know. Maybe I should shorten it a little bit. I haven't decided. I used 18mm black eyes, I believe. And I have just a tiny little bit of, it's kind of orangey, but not. Oh, here you go. Here's a 5th yarn, because this is Dollar Tree's chenille yarn, just chenille. So there's a 5th different yarn. And then this is just an acrylic yarn that I use there to put his little smile on. I love this thing. Love it. Oh, absolutely love him. Love him. I was just ecstatic making him. Ecstatic. So he just may be my new favorite plushy. I don't know. If he sells, I'm going to cry. But I did make it for the market because I plan to have a section that's all my fall stuff. So I think he'd look awesome in it. Wouldn't it be great if I could find a little tiny hay bale to sit him on? Oh, that would be so cute. Bet you I could have found it at Joann's. Don't know if Michael's has anything like that. Anyhow, cutie, cutie, cutie. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. Probably forgetting to tell you something, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You're so cute. He's so cute. He needs a name. Needs a name. Don't you, buddy? Okay, say goodbye. He's going to say goodbye. I think I've lost it this week. All right, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. I will be back next week with my market results. It did call for rain that day. Now today it says no. It was supposed to be around 80 degrees. Now it's up to 85 degrees. Not crazy about that. But it's supposed to be nice and cool for setup in the morning, so that'll help. So I'm excited, nervous, and all those feels you feel when you're going to a market. And I have some new things. I have a new logo. I have a new table runner. I have new business cards on the way. So I'll be showing all that stuff to you next week. Well, you'll see the table runner when I do my video of my setup. So again, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for coming and watching. I so appreciate it. Keep crocheting. Bye.